Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, everybody, how are you? I got to put this up here. I feel like dressing up today. I'm not going to have the robe on because it's hot here in Chicago. Up there. So let's pretend that that's the robe. Ooh, I'm voguing. Remember that? Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. Happy Monday and happy 24th day of May. Like I said, I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris. I am so happy to be here. How was your weekend? It was a beautiful weekend here in the Chicagoland area. A little warm. I'm not complaining, though. In the 80s, it was nice. We spent much time out on the deck. Had a friend over yesterday, so we were out there for like 6.5 hours. Got a lot done. Hit the tennis court. You may have seen on my page. Got back out there. A lot different this year, the first day on the courts than last year, because it was last year was the first time I'd like kind of gotten on this new knee of mine, and it took me like a month to get out of my head because I kept thinking it was going to snap in half, or I kept picturing myself, you know, like on movies, somebody will fall down the stairs and they show them laying at the bottom with their foot going that way, their leg, right? So that's what I kept thinking was going to happen. So, oh, I was in my head. But this year, no problem, went right out there. Yeah, I was stiff, I was rusty. I didn't realize that actual running back and forth on a tennis court is a lot different than an hour, you know, 4 or 5 days a week on a treadmill. Totally different. So needless to say, when I woke up Sunday morning, because I played Saturday, it was like my mind got out of bed, but my body didn't cooperate. It was still laying there going, So I had to like get up. But here we are. And I'm really excited. Oh, I had some births here in Brian and I, in our family, we have some new children. I want to tell you about my garden. You know, I planted my garden on Thursday. And can you believe I already have a bunch of stuff up? Radishes are up. Cucumbers are up. What's that other thing? The beans aren't up. String beans aren't up. Tomatoes aren't up. There's something else that's, oh, was it lettuce? Something else is up out there. So first time ever that I've had a garden. And I saw a rabbit this morning. And I was like, hey, let's have a talk. Because I haven't put my fencing up yet. But, you know, unless you want to end up, what was that movie with that rabbit in the pot with Sharon Stone in them? Haas and Pfeffer for dinner. Stay away from my garden, just letting you know. So anyway, I'm kidding. If you know any little things to do to keep the animals away from your garden, it's my first time. I watched a lot of videos, but that's not the same as people who actually do it, real life people. So if you've ever had a garden, what did you do to keep the rabbits and stuff? Are there any secrets? Somebody told me plant mums. I heard so many stories. You tell me. I trust you guys implicitly. Put it in the comments. That's the bell of purpose. What it means is every time you hear it ring here on Bathrobe Moments, it means that there's something out there. Someone has said something, our guest has, I have, or one of you perhaps out there watching has put a comment in that is like, ooh, good one, woo, woo. It means pay attention. It's your chance to be a part of something greater than yourselves. It's also a wonderful time to pay it forward and simply hit the share button and invite somebody to experience the great things you're experiencing right here at Bathrobe Moments. That's the bell of purpose. At this point, because she's under contract, help me welcome to the show my sidekick. This is my very own version of Ed McMahon. Hi, Lucy. Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. And my wonderful husband, Brian, got me 6 new coffees from World Market this weekend when he went out shopping. And this is toasted marshmallow. Tastes like regular coffee. And what else? Anything in the news? I didn't see anything. Was there anything big in the news, you guys? Sherry, I know you're in the know. Anything I should know that I missed? I don't really watch TV. So if there's anything, let me know. Please put it in the comments. Now, today's guest, well, first of all, you know that our theme this year, year number 5, is show me your soul and I'll show you mine. Vulnerability, transparency, having the conversation. That's what it's all about. Just, you know, talking it up, chopping it up, fellowshipping with each other. And today I'm so excited to have, I consider him my business coach. I've been working with him for, I don't know, 5 or 6 months now, but it didn't take 5 or 6 months for Dr. Robert GARCIA, also known as the Warrior Strategist, and has a wonderful group that we're going to talk about today. And I hope you all head over, if you haven't already, and become a part of it. That is the Design Your Own Paycheck group. And boy, talk about designing your own paycheck. It was probably 2 weeks after I started working with Rob that on how I had the first, you know, I've talked to you guys about my angel numbers and how I broke through that, I don't know what you'd call it. What are those jackets that they put insane people in where the arms go backwards? What are those? Straight jackets. I was like in a straight jacket as far as feeling worthy of abundance and that sort of thing. Even in my own brands, not able to monetize to the level I should be able to. And just 2 weeks with Rob, seriously, I mean this is the truth, brought in, I don't know, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, helped me to change my mindset. And this is the real number. I checked, I got up this morning and went through my invoicing, and I know the names and the things that happened after Rob. And to this day, as of today, the 24th of May, just from the few tidbits that he's planted within my mind over the last few months, it's responsible for bringing this in, $23,000. And that's in addition to everything I was already doing. So this is money coming from places that I didn't know I could bring money in, additional streams of income. This is a real trying time for a lot of people. I don't know about you, but it seems that people are being really ultra successful during this pandemic or really, really struggling. So we want to talk today to Dr. Rob about some situations and hopefully some solutions to help all of you move just a little bit further into that abundance that we know is yours. Can I get an amen, right? So without further ado, you guys, let's do what we do every morning, Monday through Friday, right here at Bathrobe Moments. Let's welcome our guests. Let's pour our hearts into the conversation. Let's put some hearts on the screen as we welcome to the stage Dr. Robert GARCIA. Come on, you guys, let's get it done. Howdy ho, howdy ho.
Good morning, Lauren. How we doing?
Good. I'm backing up because I want to see. See, I can see. Wait. See, when you're up there, I can't be as nosy and look around your house. Oh, how are you? That looks like a true bachelor pad. Little spiral staircase back there. What's that lead to? The Magic Palace?
The Stairway to Heaven.
Did you got any references?
I'll never tell.
I'm not gonna make you, Rob. How long? You guys got sunshine at 6 in the morning out there?
Yeah, the sun is just starting to come up, and I'm facing east. I got lucky.
Okay, so how you been? Tell everybody hello and tell them where you're at and what it is you do, Rob.
So good morning, everybody. I'm Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist. I live in Hillcrest, San Diego, an amazing neighborhood, and I teach people how to become highly visible business influencers, and I teach income streams on the side, and that's what Lauren was talking about. The ability to generate money. Yeah. So Rob, you heard me boldly go where I've never been able to go before, and that is the current number. And I'll say this too. This really isn't accurate because this is the income that came in that's finished. There's probably about an additional $1,200 to $1,400 a month that's ongoing that came through this too. So I didn't know if I should add that for the month or take it ahead, but let's just say it's better than it was. Thank you, Jesus. And thank you, Dr. Robert Garcia. So I know that I am not the only person that you've been able to make these kinds of strides with. And it's a real deal because, I mean, a lot of us work hard. We work. We got, we're proud that our desks look like that. You know what I mean? All stuff everywhere. But there's a difference between working hard and working smart. Yes or no? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What would you say is the number one thing that you find is stopping most of us, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people doing a day job and a side gig, hustle and whatever they want to call it, trying to create and generate additional income? What is the number one thing that you find gets in the way of people accomplishing that?
The mirror.
The mirror.
Seriously.
Really? You mean to tell me all these years it's you? Oh, sorry. What do you mean by that? The person in it?
Their own insecurities, their own fears of being judged, their own fear of failure. People imagine the worst case scenario far too often, and that's what stops them.
The worst case scenario. Mm-hmm. So do you remember I do. I remember exactly when something happened with me, a shift. Do you remember how that went down that day? We were working on my paid masterclass, mastermind. I have a free one, and you get me all set up on that. And then we were talking about the pricing structure for my 2 outside masterminds. And you were giving me, for the smaller group, I think you were saying, okay, this needs to be between, I think you said $500 and $700 a month or something like that for the small group. And as you said it, I wrote down $300 to $500 a month. While the words were coming out of your mouth, I was writing something totally different. And I held the note up to the screen. I was like, look what I just wrote. And do you remember what you told me? Why I did it?
I don't remember exactly what I told you. You'll have to refresh me.
I'll give you okay, I'll just put it out there. You told me, Lauren, you're charging people what you feel you can afford.
Yeah.
And when you said it like that, I actually thought, and I went back to, because I try to provide stuff for people that are just starting or coming off of a bad experience, because a lot of people get really ripped off out there. And so I try to make it easy for people to leave that behind, to snip it loose, because sometimes you miss great opportunities because you try to make that person or those people pay for a bad experience with someone else. You're like, well, I got to wait and see, or you pass up great opportunities. So how do we get to, how do you think I got to the point where what makes us charge people what we can only afford? What is that?
That's subconscious, and it happens. I didn't even figure out that concept, Lauren, until about a year ago. We get these downloads like at different periods in our life when we need them the most. That one smacked me in the face like a newspaper with a dog. And it just came out of nowhere. And it's like, Rob, you've always priced at this level because this is where at the point you get kind of nervous, because I grew up without a lot of money. And so when I get to a certain dollar amount on things, I kind of am hesitant. But I have to realize that even the person that, like, let's say the mechanic that works on Porsches, might not be able to afford a Porsche, but he still has that skill. He still has that talent to earn. And everybody's like that. And so we all have the ability to create amazing things and to charge prices that are contingent on our skill set. But most people have this internal cap, this limiter that says, oh, I can never charge that. No one would pay this, and it's about creating the value. And it's, our friend Jillian will tell you that we can create and be whoever we want to be. It all starts in the mindset of who we perceive ourselves to be.
And that's true. Did you just spill coffee?
No. What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Everybody see that? What's in that coffee, huh? Right. Yeah, he's still sleeping. So are you sleep talking, or can we really put the stuff you're saying on our hard drives? I just want to, I don't want you to wake up an hour from now and say, what did I say? Yeah, you better go ahead and finish it. You want me to close your camera so you can sop that up, or you just want to act like it's not there?
You grab a kitchen towel. Keep going.
Yeah, you should probably get a towel. Here's something. And we're going to see it because on our commercial break, we're going to show your promotional piece that you use to let people know what you do. There's something you say in that commercial that has stuck with me since the moment I heard it. I actually created that commercial. Wait a minute. Let me just get this up here because it really is. So I'm just keeping it real with y'all. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, I created that commercial. Shameless plug, show is. But when I heard this and some of the stuff I was looking at to include in your promotion, you said, avoid the hey bros. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Talk about what that means, because I started doing that, and that started saving me money.
Yeah.
Well, it created money that I was giving away, if that makes sense.
It's about reclaiming your time. And for most of us, we get these unsolicited messages out of nowhere. I had one actually 2 days ago where strangers will reach out to you online with the hey bro, and then they'll ask you for unpaid work is what they're doing. And a guy reached out to me the other day and just asked me, hey, can you check out my content and go on my website and tell me what content I need to create or what's missing? And what I should have said was, sure, where should I send the invoice? And that's always your first response. It needs to be.
Say that again. Where should I send the invoice?
Yeah. Where should I send the invoice? And be serious about it, because people undervalue their time, and they don't take themselves seriously. Like you can't do that to a doctor or a mechanic or a lawyer or a professional. And so it's no different from coming to any of you that are watching. When people come to you for free stuff out of nowhere, especially if they don't know you and they haven't made that connection with you yet and are asking you for things, or, hey, can I pick your brain, or can I get some of your time? No, you need to absolutely act like a business professional and start charging for your time.
Okay. Makes sense. So there's a difference between what you just described and can I put a real life dilemma for me out there? Because I don't want people, like I was on 2 different conferences this weekend. One international on Thursday. Well, it was Thursday night. It was Friday for them. It was Australia. And then one Saturday. Now, the one Saturday wanted all the speakers to provide something free. Okay. So I gave them something. And the thing about it, let's talk about that. When we set up our business models and stuff, and people, oh, you're going to be on this thing, especially with all these virtual events, they want you to, I get it, give the people that are there in the audience something. But if it's not a book or a PDF or something like that, when it comes to giving away coaching, or when they ask for those sorts of things, should we have something separate that we have designated just for the giveaways and things that really has value? Because, some people say, oh yeah, I give away like coaching and stuff, like an hour here, 2 hours there, something like that. But then I was like, well, why should I do that? Everybody else is saying, here's a free download of a PDF. I'm not trying to take anything away from that, but I want it to be something people really find value in, not just something I feel good about. Well, at least I didn't lose no money on that. You see what I'm saying? Because giving back that service piece, all of that, those value pieces, value, and more value. I learned that from you. To give to if I offer people, if I promise 100% value, I need to try to give them 500%, so that they're, wow, man, I didn't expect all that. And it's absolutely true. Talk about all that if you could.
Yeah, I believe that you can set a dinner table that's got a place for everyone. And so one of the things that's super important is to make sure that you have a customer journey that matches all budgets, so that even if someone can't afford to work with you on a one-on-one level, they can still join your free Facebook group. They can still, sign up for the 15-minute meet and greet call. They can still have some access to you that isn't cutting into your business time or to, take too much off of your schedule. But it's important that you understand your customer journey for all different types of customers.
Okay, great stuff right there. So, okay, let's talk about that for a second. This journey.
Yeah.
This journey. When people, let's say, there's so many different approaches, and everybody seems to be in a different season, if you will, of their growth and monetization mindset and whatnot. For the person who, now that the world is loosening back up, we can go places without masks, that sort of thing. People are feeling a little bit better about everything. What would you say is the greatest change as far as working for yourself, working remotely? What is the thing? What's different now than the number one difference now than 2 years ago for an entrepreneur? What is the thing that they must do now that wasn't maybe even that relevant 2 years ago, but because of everything that we're dealing with is one of the top 5 things that people are missing?
I think honestly, embracing technology and learning about new things that are out there, because you have this massive migration of the workforce. Like all of a sudden, like, hey, you're going to work from home. You're going to learn Zoom calls. You're going to get on these group calls. You're going to set up a home computer system, all this stuff. And so a lot of people that have been very comfortable going to the office to do their day-to-day job stuff have had to migrate. So entrepreneurs have to stay one step ahead of the game. And so they have to learn about how a chatbot works, or setting up a YouTube channel, or trying all these new technologies out there to upgrade their business models and to make them function better. I taught myself mini chat with the help of Tamara Collins and Jillian, but now I can set up my own campaigns with it, and it's been great. I taught myself automation software so that my social media can be loaded on a Sunday and goes out during the week.
So why is it, Rob, that there are people, and I won't throw their names on it, but you've mentioned a couple of them here, and I know it's true, done work for them to promote their different things like retreats and different programs and whatnot, and they have no problem throwing a $5,000, $10,000 tag on it. And I know when I'm putting their piece together, I'm like, and by the way, how much is this program? And they'll say, oh, 10 grand. Like it ain't nothing. And I'm like, dang, I already sent my invoice to you. Shit. You know what I mean? That's first thing that goes through my head. You better not call me again. Right. I'm kidding. But it makes me always think like, well, dang. And the thing is, their content and things that work for people don't come in pints, quarts, and gallons. I don't think that anybody's way is less or more than anyone else, as long as it's working for one person or more. So what is it about that person that they don't have a problem at all slapping that kind of price tag on something? And how are they finding the people? That's the thing. How do you find the people? So which comes first? Do you find the people that can pay that kind of thing, or do you find yourself? How do you get to the place where you go, okay, I want to bid on that showcase, and I want to come between $200 or whatever it is on the Price is Right, so I can win everything? How do you get to that place where if I put this price on it, people are gonna buy it. It's worth it. How do they know that?
Okay, so that's such a great question, and I'm gonna paint a picture in your brain, because there are 2 spots for any service.
Well, it better be a pretty small picture.
For any service-based business, there are 2 points: point A and point B. Point A is think about where everybody comes in, like your ability to attract an audience is point A. Think of it like an organic funnel. Okay, whether it's getting on social media, whether it's an email list, whatever, your audience size, that's point A. Point B is your onboarding. So the sales call, closing the sale, getting on the video call and just talking with people. So whenever somebody comes to me and says, I'm not making enough money in my business, I examine point A and point B, because it's usually one of the two. They're either getting on a lot of calls and not closing sales. That's point B. So that means they have to fix their onboarding or qualify their leads better. Or mostly it's point A. I don't have enough people coming in the door right here. And so that means small audience, or I'm not doing enough. My content isn't compelling. My branding's not super good. I'm not doing attractive marketing to get people, like I'm not being clear about what problem I solve, what they're going to get, what my area of specialty is, my positioning, all this different stuff. And so going back to your exact question about how do I get the people
Bye, honey. Have a great day. Sorry.
with deeper pockets,
Right.
That's point A, and it just means you need to be exposed to more people. So if you all of a sudden decide, okay, I want to attract more people to you, take some dedicated time, create some fun branded graphics, be very specific in what problem you're going to solve with your offering, with your one-on-one, your coaching, your consulting calls, all this stuff. And then just blast it out, be omnipresent. Okay, so a little bit on LinkedIn, maybe a YouTube video, some Facebook blasts, and then sending out to your email list. And then, guess what? What if you're in a networking group in your town and you're going to weekly meetings and getting to know people? So if you have all these different sources at point A, all of a sudden you're going to be exposed to thousands of people that are going to come in the funnel once it's ready. So like I said, Lauren, if you want to know more people and you want to know a higher level of people that are ready to work with you, that have the money, just start working on point A and start working on where are you seen.
When you said, let's go back down the block a couple feet. When you dropped off, you said something about email lists. I was just going to ask you about that, because that's one thing I have never done. You know what I mean? Because I don't have MailChimp or any of that stuff. I bought it. It's somewhere on here, but I'm telling you, you know why I don't do it? Can I be honest with you? Because I get all those email things. Hey, Lauren, missed you yesterday. Lauren, you want this? Lauren, you just won an iPad. Any of that stuff, and I get tons of it. I'm not kidding you. I wish I had that's why they don't let you erase all those email things. I'm looking at the front of my screen. I have 162,486 emails in there. Right. And you got to do them one by one. You can't even get rid of them all. So it's like, I'm like, why do I want to put any energy into something ain't nobody going to open, let alone read? Now, is that true or not? Are email lists still how people are doing it?
Okay. So you just brought up such a good point, Lauren, and you have to remember you're coming at this from your own perspective. Now, here's where that
down gently.
Here's where that thinking needs to be adjusted, Lauren. You forget something. You're a producer, as am I.
Yeah. And
most people that get your emails are consumers. The world is consumers with very few producers. There's two types. Producers are the types that are sending the emails, making the content, making the videos, in business for themselves. Consumers are the rest of the world that want your content, that want to be in your program. So just because you're not answering a ton of emails and you're not opting in does not mean that a ton of consumers aren't out there wanting to be led to greatness. Because once again, it's just like the money thing we talked about. You are putting your own budget or your own money mindset into your pricing. The same with this email stuff. Just because you're not answering your emails because you're busy like I am, same deal. I'm a producer. But it doesn't mean that people that have more time or more money or are not producers are want your programs. And yes, email marketing is still powerful. You just have to work with the right people.
So is email marketing right for any person doing anything, or is it more in line with, say, the person with I don't know, workout program? Matter of fact, I got a discovery call with one tomorrow. Well, because I was watching this guy, Ed D. I can't even say his last name, but back when I started transforming my body, and he always puts great content on his page for free. Meal plans, this, that, and the other, what to do when you can't get to a gym and you're on the road traveling or whatever. And he put a thing out that said, looking for a few men over 45 to do a 9-week thing that I'm trying to beta test and blah, blah, blah. If it's free. If you're interested, fill out this thing. When I did, he captured myself, which he already had because I get the emails. And he hit me back up sometime over the weekend because I saw it this morning for a 15-minute call to get started with this beta group. So that, but a lot of times I don't think that's the real person sending me that. I think that's some bot or they don't even know me. And that's what makes me not want it, because it's like, you know what? You're asking me if I want to buy a bicycle. For all you know, I don't even have legs. You know what I'm saying? So how about the part that makes you feel like it's a fine line, Rob, where you feel like, you want to feel authentic, genuine about what you're doing. But then if you send out something that's like, Dear John, to whom it may concern, it doesn't to me seem as personal enough. And I like to vet people by the relationship. I like to know them first before anything to have to do with the dollar sign gets into the picture.
No, I'm the same way.
Shooting myself in the foot thinking that way?
No, I'm the same way. You and I are cut from the same cloth because we like to get to know the human side of people. We like to connect with them. We like to make sure that our solutions will solve their problems. And email is wildly impersonal because it's text-based, obviously. And so I still think it's a powerful form of marketing, but I also feel like my best work is when I get on a video call somebody and make them laugh and talk to them and find out about what they're working on. And that's just me. This face was made for camera, so obviously I got to get on with people and talk to them. So
clearly. Okay. So
that's what I feel.
We're going to go to a short break, and actually we're going to show your promo in there. When we return, I'd like to talk about a couple things that people may not know exactly what the verbiage means. Number one, onboarding. What does that look like? Why is this important? And where does it fall into the daily, weekly routine of an entrepreneur? And also, I want to talk about the narrative. That was one of the things you got me to see from the very beginning. Not just posting things, but on day one, post this and post it from this voice. In 2 days after that, Lauren, I want you to do the second post and add a picture and say this. 3 days after, I want you to do a short video and say this. That's a conversation. Some people refer to it as the narrative. Whatever it is, it's doing this. So when we come back, I want to talk about why that is so important and how we find our own voice and not something that sounds like a bot or a telemarketing script. That and more when we return. Get your questions ready for the Warrior Strategist, Dr. Rob Garcia. We'll be back. Don't you dare go away.
Tell people when they're trying to really get focused and productive to ignore the hey bros because they're low priority. Get your motivation, create your checklist, and then that's the formula, man.
Well, alrighty then, we're back. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Lauren Michael Sayers. We're halfway through today's episode with the warrior strategist, Dr. Robert Garcia. Now, you just saw the commercial for Dr. Garcia, and you also saw one for Natan Bradbury. And I want you to know that all of the digital media, show openers, the bumpers, the sizzles, the commercials are that you see here on Bathrobe Moments are all created through Electric Revival Digital Content Creation Agency, which is mine, along with my good friend and associate producer at the network, Daniel Echeverria. Now, this right here, Electric Revival, was a hobby until this guy talked to me, and I was like, you know, I already have Power of We Symposium, a not-for-profit. I already have a free mastermind. I have all the things that I do for free. And when you talk to me about putting a border around the things that generate income, even spot-wise, you know, a little here, a little there, by putting it in its own, making it its own property, if you will, giving it its own address, you know, by starting the Electric Revival page and all that kind of stuff. If people don't know, people can't do anything with an opportunity if they don't know about the opportunity. So how important is it? Let's talk about that and then take that into what onboarding is, because I had to do that with this brand to change it from just, it didn't even have a name, which was part of the problem. So once I gave it a face, a name, kind of, you know, made it a member of the family, it was easier to generate an ongoing income. Talk about all of that and onboarding, if you could, Rob.
Yeah. So what you've got is this amazing service. And so once it's up and running and you know exactly the foundationals, so what problem do you solve? You know, how do you solve it? Who is this right for? At that point, you're ready to start an onboarding process. And an onboarding process really just means, okay, how do we qualify somebody so that all the check boxes are marked and so they are right to work with us? And when we create this onboarding process, it's so we know that we can solve their problem, and we know that the pricing matches up in their mind, our minds, everything. And that essentially what we're doing is we're saying, yes, this is going to be a good transaction. This is somebody that we can help, and they are qualified. It's almost like qualifying somebody to buy a car or to buy a home or something. Onboarding is the difference between legitimate experts out there that are actually good at things and the online guru scam artists who will sell to anyone. Onboarding is the fine line, the distinction between who's legit and who's not. Real experts have an onboarding process because they cannot sell to everybody.
So what's the difference between an onboarding call and a discovery call?
An onboarding call is a qualifying call. And a discovery call is kind of more of a vague term, because a discovery call can be an onboarding call or it can be a meet and greet. So in my mind, I have like 4 different types of calls. The meet and greet is just, hey, Lauren, I really like your stuff. Can we jump on the phone for 15 minutes and talk and connect? That's the meet and greet. Everybody should offer those, but 15 minutes at the most, and is just to break the ice. Yeah. Just to break the ice. Yeah.
Yes. You know, my husband, Brian, in the early days, when I was building out the coaching program, you know, I had maybe 1 or 2. The coaching was $500 a month. And I would be on the phone with somebody for 2-3 hours and they still wouldn't convert. And I was just, Brian was like, you got to quit doing this. Look at how many hours in a week. And I just kept track of that for not even 2 weeks. And it was like a whole week. It was over 40 some hours. I was like, I'm done with that. So I started setting my alarm when I went on those calls. And you know what I found out, Rob? I found out it was me who was stretching stuff out. You know what I mean? And I was like, what in the world? What is that? So what do? Do we create a script? Do we have speaking points that we get to? How do we do that where it doesn't feel like a pressure sale? I've been told, my first coach, used to tell me he believed in a 3-point conversion. The get to know the person part first before you talk any business, then find out, because Jason Cisneros says 3 things. Find out what people want or need, go out and get it, bring it back and give it to them. So I find that that's that point, that get to know you part, that virtual coffee and all that, is when you find out what somebody really needs. Now, while you're in there, what are you really listening for? You're listening for the things that you have to offer that can generate income for them. But I find that it's also, I'm listening with both ears, two lanes, two channels, if you will, because I also want to find out through this experience of getting to know them, if there's anything of service that I don't sell, like a connection, or and I call those value pieces, value, and more value. Talk about the importance of that, because I find what that is inside the get to know you part. What about you?
Yeah, it's Chris Stock, very, very famous sale guy that's in my network. He said, ask questions, and then when all else fails, ask questions. And what you want to do is you want to isolate what their biggest problem is. And don't be scared to just ask it flat out. Just say, hey, what's your biggest problem right now in business or life? You know, what are you going through, and what are you struggling with? And they'll give you the exact answer. And at that point, this is part of onboarding. At that point, you either know, okay, yes, in the wheelhouse, or no, recommend to somebody else. And so at that point, if it's yes in the wheelhouse, then you take it a step further. And at that point, you can kind of go into territory like, hey, well, I have this group called Design Your Paycheck. You know, if you're not making enough money in your business and for, you know, X amount a month, I can teach you income streams. I can review your, you know, show you how to do consulting calls, all this different stuff for sale. Mm-hmm. But during these calls, Lauren, it's very important to find out those two things: what the problem is, and can you solve it for them?
Mm-hmm. Okay, beautiful. Now I got a good one. Because you know how I have some coaching clients who, a couple of them have whiteboards behind where they sit, right? And I always take screenshots, you know, of doing when they're in a session. Then I go back in and right before their session, like a week later, and I'm looking at what was on the board. And then when we come to the session, I compare it. And it took me a while because I was like, is that board changing? What I'm getting at is a lot of us go to the extent of putting things in place to help us do better. Whiteboards, vision boards, journals, this, that, and the other. I got like 5 of them down there, those little journals that people always give you right in. And all of them have at least one page with something on, usually within the first day that I got it. And then they just sit around collecting dust. What I like about the Wall of Purpose is because I'm always resourcing from it. Now talk back to the original comment about the whiteboards and to-do lists and things. What is that called when we put stuff on those things in the board, just full of stuff? But then the things that we don't accomplish, that we accomplish, we still leave up there. I was like, that's what I love about a to-do list, getting to cross it off. But some people leave that stuff there, or it hasn't been addressed at all, but it's still sitting there. Like they walk past it and they don't even see it. What are the dangers of looking like you got it together and not even really doing shinola, the word that comes before shinola?
Right. Well, that's just a matter of not being productive enough and not losing your passion for a project. And I am guilty. If you were to look, I have 4 whiteboards behind this camera, and I have one of them is full of projects I need to do that I just have made too busy and kind of push off in the corner like an unwanted child, and I just haven't done anything with them, and I need to revise them and get my passion for them.
So when you look at that board with those unattended things, what do you find yourself able to look right at it? Yeah, I see you. I ain't scared of you. I'm gonna get to you. Or do you act like if you got this board and 3 others, do you go, oh, la, la, la. Oh, hi, board number 2, number 3, number 4. I'll see you, number 1. You know what I mean? Out of sight, out of mind kind of deal. What does that say to you if you keep looking up there and you see something from 4 months ago?
It means that, first of all, I've got to change its location in my place, because I have one board that gets priority that's in front of my other computer. And so I have to look at it as soon as I veer left a little bit from the computer. It's right there. And that's the one that lists my clients and what I owe them, deliverables. So that obviously high priority board. So the next thing to do is to mount something nearby or in that field of view so that it's not something that's easily ignored.
That's exactly what I feel. That's why I have that stuff right in front of me.
Yeah.
Right in front of me. And even when I, like if I'm doing something health-wise, you know, supplements or a shake or replacement, meal replacement, you know, I used to tell my clients, don't put your shakes in the cabinet, because then, you know, leave it out. Don't even put it up on the fridge, because you're not walking around the kitchen going like this. You're walking to the kitchen down here. So put it right there. Put it right by something that you cannot avoid. That is important. So before, okay, let's get into these other things. And you guys, I'm going to throw the connectors for Dr. Rob, because there's so many business questions that he can answer. He's got lots of great content, lots of free content. He's got some great groups. You don't want to miss it. Everybody in these groups, the Design Your Paycheck, your own paycheck group is fantastic. And you got some others. But before we get to those, talk about your magazine. And, you know, pick any month to talk about July 2021. I mean, you can talk about anybody that's been on the cover. Me, July 2021. Okay. So anyway, talk about this magazine. How'd you get it started? Who's in it? Who reads it?
I started 4 years ago. It's called Shift Advanced Life Design Magazine. It is just me interviewing top performers, and I've had some incredible interviews in those 4 years, Lauren. And yeah. there might be a certain Chicago personality that's going to be in it very, very soon this summer.
In it?
Oh yeah, gracing the
in
cover
it and
in it and just
on it
over on it. Yeah.
As in cover?
As in a big, bright, wonderful cover.
Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, but seriously, Rob.
Yeah.
Talk about what, like you didn't have enough on your plate. Here on your screen, by the way, is the magazine's website, shiftlifedesign.com. Please head over and tell people. What's that? You can read it for free. It's a free. You can read it for free. Now, who's in there? That's what I love.
Well, I've interviewed Scott Oldford, Steve Sims, Coach Jen Scalia from the business world, Pumpkin Plan author Mike Michalowicz, and then we get in the military side of the house, Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, all kinds of people. I've interviewed Chris McPhee, who is a Green Beret with a Ranger tab, and now has a great podcast called The Team Room. So I've gotten all these like
Chris McPhee from Triple Nickel.
Yeah.
From Triple Nickel.
Exactly.
Wait. Yeah, and Ruben Ayala is on here watching. Hey, nice to see you. We got Marty Martinez from Lounge with Legends, and the James Phelps' driver. He drives James Phelps around in the limo and carries his baggage in and out of hotels, is what I hear. Marty, thank you for doing that. So how long have you had this magazine, Rob?
4 years.
4 years. Why did you feel the need to create a magazine with everything else you already had going? You're a PhD, you do all this coaching, you got all this stuff you do online. Why the magazine?
Yeah, I was writing a lot, and I thought, what would it look like if Tim Ferriss had a magazine, like a magazine for smarter people, not just a typical magazine where we ask people what they had for breakfast, but a magazine that deconstructs experts and says, okay, how do you create this process? How do you get that higher level thinking? Like, how do you, how does a person create the success? What's the mindset they create? And I really want to reverse engineer the recipe for success.
Okay. So when your people, like, for instance, you've got this, speaking of success, your next level of success.com. Tell us what this is all about.
So that's my main website where you can book a call with me. I've got some YouTube videos on there for instruction, talks about my services and just the working with me. But essentially what I want to do with my clients is to show them that A, they are a lot better than they think they are, and B, they deserve success at whatever level they can imagine it, and C, they're probably playing too low.
That was me. Now, one thing I love about your groups and the people that I've met through you that also work with you is that everyone seems to have such a joyous mindset, if you will, about the work they're doing. I heard something, was it this morning? It was over the last 24 hours. Someone said, my father always said, it might have been in a documentary I was watching last night, that said, my father always said, if you're doing what you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just the greatest thing. If you're doing what you love, you never have to work a day in your life. So let's talk about what is it about your groups, Rob, that people show up. I remember at the first, when I was vetting you, getting to see if, let's see if this guy's a real deal, you know. So and I would pop into your groups and I was like, okay, so he's got 40 people here at the beginning.
You let in the wrong stray, Lauren.
I know, I really did. I mean, you want some, you don't look like you got a home. Yeah. It was the right stray, to be honest with you. And so, but I watched that. And I noticed, I said, well, it was 40 people. I'm gonna leave and go do something. Come back in about 15 minutes. And I bet you it ain't gonna be but 2 or 3 of them. Come back. Not only was the same 40 there, it was like 3 or 4 more. And so I started listening and watching, and everybody, it's like being in the kind of classroom that's different from high school as opposed to college. In high school, where everybody sits in, the teacher just teaches. In college, you know, they're getting involved, they're talking, and it was kind of like that in the group, that people were really pouring into each other, asking a lot of great questions. And what I took from that was, these people aren't worried about people in this group judging them. They don't have a problem with putting it out there. Here's my issue. You know, I'm not doing well with this. Who can help me? So why is it important that we put ourselves in alignment with great, strong entrepreneurs, fellow entrepreneurs, but people that we feel comfortable just putting it out there? How important is that?
I hand select everybody I let in the group. And we're talking about design your paycheck. I remember that call particularly and what you're talking about. And it's very important that you select team members with the same attitude, team members that are willing to take an extra 5-10 minutes to promote someone else, people that don't have character flaws, argumentative or defensive or angry, people that can be vulnerable. These are the people that I want to work with, because business is the roller coaster. Nobody just starts a business and in a week, is super, super successful. It takes time. It's laying the foundation a brick at a time. And that's why I'm so proud about Design Your Paycheck, because I know every person in there. When we get on a call, every person contributes, and I make sure to talk to everybody, see how they're doing. And it's not just the teaching of the income stream stuff. It is teaching their mindset. It is being their cheerleader. Yeah. It's inspiring them and saying, hey, I'm real proud of you for getting up today. And even if you didn't make any sales last week, you're still great. Absolutely right. And I'll tell you what really did it for me was that I was in there with with people who overachieve. And it gave me, I didn't feel like I was in competition, but I felt like I wanted to be in the race, if that makes sense. Like we were all marathon runners, encouraging each other, waiting around that corner to hand somebody that drink they need as they run by. And what kind of person are you looking to work with? What name the top 3 things a person needs to work with a person like you? Because had I not been introduced to you, I don't think I would have thought I qualified to work with you. That's where I would have gone first and probably never made the call on my own. So it's a person that knows that they have more in their future, but they're incapable or scared to get there on their own. So when they come to me and we start a program together, we talk about what's missing. I do a full diagnostic of their life, like how they're interacting, how their business is running, all that stuff. And then we just start reviewing, okay, what's your messaging? What's the problem you solve? What media have you been on? I'm going to Google you. I'm going to see how your audience sees you. Is your branding strong? Are you using like really attractive imagery? Are your messages well written? Are you being a leader? Is essentially what I do is I create strong business leaders. You really do. Because I'm going to tell you, I'll never forget the first day. It was like you shot stuff at me that I couldn't say anything. I couldn't, even in my own mind, I couldn't say, you don't know shit. Who do you think you're talking to? Yeah. None of that. It was a different approach to accountability, even from the way I coach, because I'm like, but I mean, the people that work with me know they need that extra, like, okay, either you're going to do this or, you're going to hear some coins going back into your Cash App account, because we're not here for that.
You know, somebody else could be sitting in that chair. There are only so many. So, Rob, the accountability part, I feel like when I'm working with you, it's so different. It's not like doing homework. It's like wanting to prove. You made me feel like the things you said were so possible that I was like, well, I'm gonna try it exactly like he said a couple times and see. And it only took once. And it was just a remarkable way that you do it, because I mean this, you guys. Rob actually helped me. He didn't do it. He helped me to move my own issues out of the way. And they were the last ones that were there. They were like the ring in the bathtub. The water was gone. I was clean. The bathroom floor was dry. Everything was, the towels were laundered, but that ring was still in there. So what I look at it like is that you gave me the Comet and you gave me the sponge to clean my own ring out of my own tub, if that makes any sense. I know that was a strange analogy, but it worked nonetheless. So I want to ask you right now, what do you got coming up that people, how soon can people get into something to part the curtain and kind of see what's going on with you and your tribe? Is there something you got coming up on, you know, a mastermind or a group coming up this week or something?
Yeah, the fastest way is just to join the free group, Success Odyssey with Dr. Rob. And so it's a new group. It's rebranded. It's a fresh start. Still a pretty small group, and I'm really happy with who I have in it. But it's you can get on free weekly calls. You can meet my inner circle, my crew. You know, Annette Wittenberger and Donald Dodson, all these crazy veterans we know. But Success Odyssey with Dr. Rob is a great way to kind of get a start as to what it's like working with me.
Okay, I've just popped that into the chat, you guys. So you can pick that up right there and take it with you. For those of you who may not be able to click on something right now or whatever, here it is on your screen. It's the Facebook group, the Success Odyssey with Dr. Rob. Check that out. Free, right, Rob?
Absolutely.
Okay, there's that. And if you still have room in your spiritual, mental, and personal stomach for some more great content, head over every other week, not this coming Saturday, but 2 weeks from this past Saturday, to a free mastermind, Slam the Hammer, which is for all of you entrepreneurs and solopreneurs who are ready to nail it, right? And yes, again, I ain't got no problem with it. Where is it? I'm going to put it up. Oh, never mind. I can't find it. My shameless plug banner. It's somewhere. So, Rob, in conclusion, what would you like to leave people with? The world is loosening up. People are feeling a little bit more comfortable to get out and get about. What's the number one thing we need to do going into Q2, which is right around the corner? Wait, Q3 is right around the corner.
Yeah. My biggest advice to people is now is your time. Not now is the time. Now is your time. Step up. Do things that scare you.
Make your heart pound just a little bit faster. It means you're not comfortable.
Yeah.
It means that you're doing something that's helping you to stretch. Absolutely right. So again, you all get out there. And if you would like to continue the dialogue with Dr. Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist, all the groups and things that we've talked about this morning are inside your chat. So go in and take a look at that. And reach out if you feel it's right for you. I know it will be if you know that it is. Wherever you get it, just get it. We want to make a difference in this world, one story, one person at a time. So this is how we find those roads, by coming together and having these types of conversations. I want you to encourage others as you encourage yourself to get out there and be your best version. Live your very best version of your own life. And remember, if you have access and you've gained access to one soul, one heart, one spirit, you've gotten access and gained it to the world. So if one person is listening, all you have to do is keep spreading the word, and the world will be listening with you. Dr. Rob, thank you so much for coming on today. I know it's early out there. I truly appreciate it. We look forward to the next time. Anything you want to say as a Jerry Springer thought? Last one?
I just want to say for everybody watching, just remember to love yourself. You know, it's a tough time right now, and take it easy on yourself. Get some rewards. Do something fun.
Do something fun. That's right. And if you're doing we said earlier, if you're doing what you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life. man, as a true blue lazy man, I like it. So have a great one, you guys. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early. Oh, songstress from The Voice, background singer for Diana Ross, and who else? Oh, Patti LaBelle and that sort of thing. You might remember her from Celebrity Week last year. Teresa Griffin, songstress, will be here tomorrow morning sharing the new things, the new album, and everything that's going on in her life. I'll meet you out front, God willing, at 8 a.m. Central for our next installment of Bathrobe Moments. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much.
See you guys.
Here. Bye-bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine.